Good evening, everyone. My name is Jose Sandoval, and I'll be presenting the Cyber Threat Intelligence Plan for HIC Incorporated. A little bit of background before we start. As you know, in today's age, everything is connected to the internet, and by proxy, that makes it everything connected to everything else. While this may make our lives easier day to day, it also opens a lot more opportunities for malicious cyber attackers to steal our information. In our case, as a medical benefits provider, we have a lot of information that they would obviously want to have, such as social security numbers, addresses, phone numbers, next of kin information, date of birth, medical history. Many people would love to have that because that makes it incredibly easy to steal someone's identity. And because of that, we're entrusted with that information, so we have to take a proactive stance instead of being reactive to cyber threats. And by installing a cyber threat intelligence plan, we can take in a lot of information from outside threats and some even inside threats in order to better protect ourselves and be proactive in defending against those threats instead of reacting to threats already happening and hopefully nothing happening. We'll start off by explaining what cyber threat intelligence is. Cyber threat intelligence is a collection of information that is specific to our industry, and that is measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Makes it easy. Since we're in medical benefits, we need to concentrate on threats that pertains to us. We won't have the same kind of threats. We might have similar sometimes, but we won't have the same threats, let's say, as a large shipping company. Cyber threat intelligence is separated into three different categories: threat indicators, threat data feeds, and strategic cyber threat intelligence. And I'll be explaining that in the next slide. The first category of cyber threat intelligence is threat indicators, which is defined as an entity that indicates the possibility of an attack or compromise of some kind. The most common types of threat indicators are file signatures and reputation information on domains and IP addresses that have been previously associated with attacks. File signatures are important since they allow us to see if a file contains a known signature of any malware, virus, or trojans, making proactive measures possible. By collecting intelligence on past and present threat indicators, our network monitors may be able to ascertain the risk of an email, file, application, domain, or website. Having access to this information will allow administrators to better equip firewalls and detection systems to look for malicious content before it enters our network. By searching all the hashes in whatever we download or whatever we see, as you can see on the picture shown on the screen, it shows the hash for a malware called Poison Ivy. So as it comes in, it sees the information and sees all these hashes come in, and then it detects this particular signature. I'm like, hey, this signature seems pretty close to Poison Ivy. And when it realizes that, it stops it from coming into our network, preventing an attack on our network and possibly losing data. Next up would be our second category, threat data feeds. Fortunately, HIC Inc. is currently using or contracting with Symantec and their DeepSight feeds to fulfill this category. Threat data feeds provide information which helps correlate and analyze threat indicators. So we take the first category and we use these two. We use Symantec DeepSight and we couple it with Alien Vault Open Threat Exchange, which is free, by the way. So we couple these two and we gain more information. We learn how to analyze all the information we got from the first category, and here it helps us separate. However, this also helps us by making threat statistics reports and surveys, which help security teams like perform audits and focus on the most prevalent attacks and alert them to emerging threats. This also allows to give the supervisors or executives like yourselves more information that you can better understand instead of it's literally other languages. And now we're on the third category of cyber threat intelligence, strategic threat intelligence. Unfortunately, this might be out of reach for HIC Inc. at this point in time if attempted locally. By that I mean ourselves. Strategic cyber threat intelligence is information about the specific adversaries targeting your enterprise and the dangers they pose in the immediate future. While we may be able to gain some intelligence from public platforms, most important collection platforms are invitation only and difficult, along with dangerous, to enter. However, we are able to conduct research and analysis on possible threats that are currently known to HIC Inc. And usually this part is what the CISO shall oversee the project of researching and analyzing possible specific threat actors. And by threat actors, I mean cybercriminals, hacktivists, and competitors even. However, we'll concentrate on cybercriminals for the moment. Cybercriminals will make up the bulk of all threats that face our company at the moment. Cybercriminals may be hired to perform an attack on us or another organization, similar to a mercenary, or they can conduct attacks on their own without any outside actors helping them. Their main targets usually include private personal information and financial account information. And keep in mind, cybercriminals is a broad term. They could be anyone. They could be from the rogue employee or the stereotypical hacker hundreds or thousands of miles away trying to get information. Now we have the ever-famous hacktivists. These threat actors attempt to conduct attacks aimed to disrupt operations in order to express their political, social, or ideological beliefs, or to discredit or damage representatives of opposing views. One of the most well-known groups under this category is Anonymous. Unfortunately, due to the main goal being to express their views towards or against ideals or actions, it is difficult to anticipate attacks from these actors. However, actions that may cause hacktivists to target an organization, i.e. us, could be employee layoff announcements, environmental or legal controversies, or questionable business partners. Those are just a few of what may cause an hacktivist to target us. There could be many, many things, just from one rogue newspaper article showing us in a bad light, or them just feeling targeted. They might be, we didn't accept a claim or something of the sort. They might target us. So this is the most unpredictable outside threat. And now we have competitors as outside threats. While many like to think that a rival organization would not initiate an attack on another organization, it is never wise to rule out the possibility of it occurring. However, rival companies do have different targets when they're targeting companies such as us. They're going to be targeting financial reports, financial strategies, operational strategies. They want more information on their rivals so they can make more informed decisions. Same thing as we're trying to do with them. However, you can never rule out that they might use that cyber criminal that we mentioned before, i.e. a mercenary, to gain that information. So we always have to be watchful of everyone outside of our company. And now, part of having a cyber threat intelligence plan is conducting threat assessments on competitors. In this case, we'll be doing a threat assessment on United Health Group, one of our biggest competitors. That way we have more information on how they're doing, what they're doing, and we can plan ahead in order to either go against them or do the exact opposite, steer clear from them. Having more information on rivals is always better. You can never have too much information on rivals. Here we have basic information on United Health Group. On the left, you see the last 3 months of their stock prices. They did drop approximately 9.944% in stock price. However, On the right side at the bottom, I did put the stock year average and the high lows for the last 2 years. Well, 2019, 2018. The stock year average, as you can see, it was at 110.33 in 2015. Now, in 2019, the average, granted it's only been 3 months, it's 259.81, with 2018, the year average 246. They've been increasing about 124% per year at this rate. Correction, actually it's been a total of 124% in the last 4 years, not per year. That'd be pretty impressive. The current stock price is $243.15 through the New York Stock Exchange. So we can see that their financial health is really, really good. So we might want to plan ahead if we don't want to attack them, since not only are they the number one healthcare company in the world due to the revenue of $201 billion in 2017, they do operate not only in all 50 states of the US, they operate in another 130 countries around the world. So us being only operational in the US, United Health Group might be a little too big to go against, at the moment at least. Now we come to cyber attack analysis. This is one of the biggest parts of cyber threat intelligence, not counting getting just all the cyber threat intelligence from data feeds and strategic intelligence. It's conducting analysis on other organizations and the attacks on them. Right now we're going to be doing the Mayors Group, which is a global logistics company. However, you might recognize Equifax as another attack that happened to a big company. By conducting analysis, we'll be better able to prepare ourselves to what happened, because whatever happens to them might happen to us. Part of the cyber attack analysis is separating each incident into 7 different steps: reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, and action on objectives. Reconnaissance part of this incident was there was very little reconnaissance towards Mayors network specifically. However, it targeted a popular Ukrainian accounting software named MEDoc, similar to our TurboTax. They used stolen admin credentials to create a backdoor in that software, which led to being vulnerable on any computer that was installed in. After reconnaissance, it was weaponization. It was built using 2 exploitations, using Eternal Blue, which was created by the United States NSA, and NotPetya's second exploit was Mimikatz, allowing the user to get credentials out of random access memory and use them to gain access. Delivery. Attackers released NotPetya through Linkos Group's update servers, allowing it to be delivered on computers containing that software. And due to a single computer on Mayors global network containing that vulnerable software, NotPetya was able to gain a foothold and quickly spread and cripple their entire network, causing around $300 billion in damages. Then came exploitation. Once NotPetya was released, any computer gaining the updates through the Linkos Group servers were infected, and any computer not having the security patch for Eternal Blue was targeted first. Then comes installation. NotPetya autonomously infected, installed, and spread itself incredibly fast, to the point where a large Ukrainian bank had lost its entire network in 45 seconds. After infection, NotPetya attacked the computer's master boot records and irreversibly encrypted them. And it was then restarted and had an error message on there saying your files are encrypted. The next step was command and control. Unfortunately, NotPetya was designed with no command and control. It was purely destructive, with no key to reverse its effects. And now we have action on objectives. Due to its design, NotPetya was created to spread automatically, rapidly, and indiscriminately, like I mentioned before. There was no ransom payment that could unencrypt the computer's contents, since, like I said, made purely for destruction purposes. The main purpose of this attack was to cripple the Ukrainian infrastructure, along with punishing companies who maintained offices in Ukraine. The reason Mayors had this huge cyber attack on them was because one single finance executive from the Ukraine branch installed MEDOC on one single company computer connected to the network. If this had been stopped, NotPetya would not have affected Maersk in any way. However, because it did, it caused catastrophic shutdown across the entire network globally. IT administrators should not allow any exemptions towards unauthorized program installations. Only software approved by the IT department head should be allowed on computers owned by the company and connected to its network. Us at HIC Inc. need to learn from others' mistakes in order to better protect ourselves in such a dangerous cyber event. We must gear our policies and stances to be proactive instead of reactive, such as Maersk, who was rewarded with a crippling cyber event and $300 billion in damages. What we need is adequate resources, financial and personnel-wise, that need to be provided to the IT department to ensure security through audits, employee training, hardware, software updates, security testing, and much more. Under the HIC Inc. CISO, the IT department will begin forming a Cyber Threat Intelligence Unit, otherwise known as CTIU, whom shall oversee the collection and analysis of pertinent data. They shall work closely with the Incident Response Unit and the Systems Auditing Unit in order to be able to use that information more efficiently. Along with that, the CIO and the CISO shall be coordinating with the CTIU for analysis of competitors and outside threats for dissemination among executives. In conclusion, cyber threats to health organizations are certainly increasing in frequency and scale, sophistication, and severity of impact, regardless of the location, size, products, services provided. All organizations are subject to cyber attacks from known or unknown actors around the world. For this reason, among many, HSC Inc. must embrace a proactive stance towards our infrastructure cybersecurity alongside an effective cyber threat intelligence initiative. Fortunately, we are continually improving our network security through software, hardware, and policy improvements. Our organization is still building a solid means of collecting, analyzing, and using actionable cyber threat intelligence in order to exponentially decrease the likelihood of a data breach. Having these resources available to the executives will allow you to develop greater and more detailed short-term, long-term strategies for HSC Inc. and hopefully increase its continuous growth. If you have any questions, I'll be available after the presentation and I can discuss anything that you saw in this presentation, or if you have anything else, I'll be happy to answer all questions. Thank you.